But the really interesting thing here, like the share market has gone down quite substantially in the last few days. We know this. We also know the share market is actually quite overvalued, okay?
It was a correction that was coming.
It's a correction that was coming. But the real point to all of this here is this is not just about manufacturing trade. It is about manufacturing, and it is about really bringing back industrial sovereignty and industrial capability to the United States. Australia needs to wake up to what is happening here, because what Trump is about is saying basically that a nation that cannot make its own industrial products cannot survive. And it goes of a piece with his calls on everyone to get their defense spending up to 3%, which Labor disgracefully failed to do in the budget that they had down a couple of weeks ago. But the other thing, too, this is also really, and I'm going to walk through the steps of this a bit later in the program, a way that they are going to essentially refinance the debt, get the Treasury paying a much lower interest rate for the trillions of dollars of debt, and grow their way out of the deficit. And this, too, is something that Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, he flagged this was what he wanted to do long before Election Day. So everybody who freaks out and says, we didn't see this coming, there's a strategy, it's rational, it's a big gamble, but if they didn't do this, literally the United States is going to slam into a mountain of debt.
Well, also the other thing, the bottom line is very, very simple. Would you rather live in a world where the leading economic power is the United States, or live in a world where the leading economic power is China? That's the bottom line. That's the simplest way of looking at it. For years now, we've had all our so-called, boffins and experts and talking heads, the same ones who, Rita, this week were all in a head spin about what's going on with all the usual suspects, all the Trump derangement syndrome mob. They're all out there, hyperbole left, right and centre. The bottom line is we've all been complaining about the fact that China has been eating our lunch for decades. Now it's time. America has taken steps to correct that. Will Australia? That's the question.
Well, America is determined to bring back manufacturing, and it's already happening even before these tariffs take hold because of the policies that have been announced. And globalisation has not served the American workers. It's served the very elite. Wall Street loves it. They're hooked on cheap labour. They're hooked on paying a pittance for people in third world countries to make things for them. But there are all sorts of ramifications for that, not just for their own workers, but also as far as innovation goes, because the countries that learn how to make things, they learn their whole supply chain and they become empowered and emboldened, and you weaken your own nation. And Trump has seen this, he's talked about this, as I said earlier, for decades. This is a massive realignment, but this is something that JD Vance, the Vice President, is absolutely strong on, probably even more so than Donald Trump. If you've listened to some of his recent speeches, you see that.
Well, he lived through the whole hillbilly elegy.
He knows this.
He knows what it's about.
It decimated his own community, his family.
James?